The Indian team will resume their practice ahead of the crucial encounter against West Indies on Friday. So far, the Indian team has been in perfect form in every aspect of the game. The bowlers and the batsmen have been in prime form, and even the fielding has been outstanding. The team has just dropped one catch till now. For more, let's speak to Shivani, who's joining us live from Perth. Shivani, obviously the Indian team has been in an amazing touch in the tournament thus far. The team did decide to take a day off yesterday. Can you tell us what the team was up to and what is expected today? What sort of a training session will the team follow?
That's right, Radhika. Perfect start to the World Cup title defence for India. 3 wins in 3. Yesterday, if I can talk about that first, the team actually took an entire day off after their win against UAE. They even went a little further outside of Perth to Rottnest Island, took a ferry in the morning and, took a tour of the island, which has some historical sites related to Perth and Australia's history. Then today we're expecting them to resume practice for the first time before their crucial encounter against West Indies at 2 p.m. Perth time. But right now, behind me, the West Indies team is practicing at Murdoch University ground, just a little outside of central Perth city. Of course, what we saw yesterday when the West Indies team practiced was that Chris Gayle, Darren Sammy and Kemar Roach, these 3 big names from the lineup, skipped the practice and the net session. Now, again, today, Chris Gayle is here at the ground, but he hasn't taken part in the football match that the team has played just now, or even the fielding drills that the team is doing behind me at the at the Oval, the Murdoch University Oval. We're expecting Chris Gayle to come out and practice soon. As far as the Indian team is concerned, it's going to be, not very intensive 3 days in the run-up to the match against West Indies. They're going to practice today, take an off day again tomorrow, and then practice for the final time on 5th March before the game on 6th. This game, of course, Radhika, as we've been mentioning ever since we came to Perth, extremely crucial for India, much more than the UAE game, because this is a much more dangerous side, especially with the likes of Chris Gayle in the lineup.
Shivani, also if you could shed a light on the Indian team as such. We know Shami didn't play the last match because of injury. Duncan Fletcher is still not with the side. Any update on the injury status, and also when can we expect Fletcher to be back with the Indian team?
That's right. As far as Shami is concerned, there's no official update on whether he's going to be made available for selection. Now remember, even for the last match, perhaps because it was the match against UAE, he was rested precautionarily. But now it will be interesting to see whether Shami comes back and Bhuvneshwar has to give up his place. Definitely something that can happen in the run-up, because you wouldn't want Shami sitting out for too long. You would want him to play against West Indies. It's a dangerous side. Shami being the pick of the bowlers in the first 2 matches against South Africa and Pakistan, India would need him against this side, and pace would be crucial at the Waka wicket anyways. As far as Duncan Fletcher is concerned, he's still not back. We're expecting him to come back. No official confirmation on that soon, but the moment Team India arrives for his practice session today, we should have some answers.
Shivani, stay on with us. We will be back with you. But Perth City hosted a warm reception for the West Indies team, and after the colourful event, our senior editor of sports caught up with one of the Caribbean stars, Darren Sammy. The all-rounder shared his thoughts on playing against India and his relationship with the Indian side. Let's listen in.
We're joined by the top West Indian player, Darren Sammy. And Darren, it's been a wonderful evening out here. The World Cup has begun now for the fans.
Yes, we're just happy as a team to come to Perth and get this reception. It's always good to know that the fans supporting you through the thick and thin. So it's a good event, and we the boys, we appreciate that the fans came out to support us.
And Darren, were you tempted to go on stage, because the way Chris and Andre were doing, that was fabulous?
We West Indians have a certain flair about us. We know how to entertain, whether it be on the field or off the field. So after a game like South Africa, it's good to have some downtime to get your mind off the cricket for a little while. But we have a couple days to regroup and train hard and get our plans right when we play against India.
So plenty of all this in the India game then, on the ground? Plenty of all this on the ground for the India game?
Well, West Indies and India always have a good relationship, and we've always enjoyed playing against India. And yeah, I know the Indian fans will come out, but we know Indians love West Indians, and West Indians
we love you, man. Thank you so much, Darren. That's what the West Indians bring to this World Cup. It's India versus the West Indies on Friday, but be prepared. Perth will witness more events like this. With Zahir Bagh, Vikrant Gupta in Perth for Headlines Today.
As India prepare for the next big game against the West Indies, let's listen in to what former West Indies captain and current team manager Richardson had to say ahead of the match on Friday. It's a Headlines Today exclusive.
The West Indians are in town. They're in Perth and India's up next. India has been playing well. The West Indies have started well. They lost to South Africa, but then many reckon that in Perth they have a chance against India. Joined by a legend, Richardson, who's the manager of the team, and the responsibility of the team management now to tell the team that they need to believe in themselves.
Well, it's not going to be easy for us, especially playing against India, who are a top team. They're leading the group at the moment, but as you know, anything can happen on the day. And all players are very much aware that this game is going to be a very important game. So we'll be going all out to win this game. Perth is a very good hunting ground for us. We love playing here. So, you know, we're going to have a little rest tomorrow, but then we're going to bounce back, you know, get into our training sessions and plannings and all that sort of stuff. And we believe that we can win this game against
I'm sure you've had a look at the Indians also. Surprisingly, for the other teams, they've been bowling well.
Yes, I mean, India are top side, and the fact that they are at the top of the pool at the moment means that they're playing some good cricket, but just one bad day and you could be derailed. So it's important for us to win this game, because we don't want to depend on our last game to make sure that we qualify. So we'll be going all out to beat India.
And Chris, how did he celebrate his double century?
Well, Chris is a very cool guy. I'm sure he had a glass of champagne or two, but you know, he realizes that there's still a lot of work to be done.
Saving his best for India.
Well, I hope so. He's still got a lot to offer. Chris Gayle, he realized that he's a crucial player for the West Indies team, and I'm sure he has quite a bit more to deliver.
The balance of the team, are you happy with that now?
Yeah, we're happy. You know, we have nothing to complain. We just hope that all our players can remain fit, and once our players remain fit, then, you know, we're pretty happy.
Richie, you've seen India from the outside. You've seen India for a long time now, as a player and now. What is the strength of this Indian team? Because they've been in Australia for close to 3 months. They lost about 84 days, the first part of the tour, and then they've started winning. Is this momentum, is this form, or what is it?
I don't know, but what I do know that India have got a lot of talented players, especially with their batting, and you know, nobody can really write them off. They've got the experience, and they know how to win tournaments. So you know, their chances are as good as anybody's.
Let me tell you, before I wind up, that two of the experts that we have in-house, Sachin Tendulkar and Sourav Ganguly, have labelled the India-West Indies tie as a game that India must watch out. And the way Richie is saying, India must actually watch out for the West Indies at the Waka. With Zahir Bagh, this is Vikrant Gupta in Perth for Headlines Today.
South Africa's crucial encounter against Ireland is all set to begin. Remember, Team South Africa have won the toss and they've elected to bat first. The Proteas have played 3 matches in the tournament thus far, winning 2 of those. Their only loss came against defending champions India. But they came back strongly against the West Indies. AB de Villiers led from the front and registered the second fastest run in World Cup history. The bowlers, though, too put up a strong display. The only worry for South Africa remains that 2 of their key players, Hashim Amla and Dale Steyn, have not contributed thus far. Meanwhile, Ireland have been undefeated in the tournament. The Giant Killers have already scalped West Indies to stake a claim for a quarter-final berth. In their last match against UAE, they won it by a close contest. The good thing for Porterfield's men is that all the key players are contributing to the team's success. But the match against the Proteas would be a real test for the Giant Killers. Ireland are known to chase massive scores and hold the record for the most number of successful 300-plus run chases in World Cup history. Expect them to give South Africa a run for their money in this match. Shivani, obviously, the game between Ireland and South Africa is expected to be exciting because Ireland have not shown themselves to be minnows at all. The team has performed brilliantly thus far.
That's right. It's actually quite an interesting matchup, and because South Africa too have been very up and down in this entire World Cup. AB de Villiers fires one day quite like Chris Gayle, and the team team looks completely different on days when they don't fire. Even their batting lineup looks a little brittle. So Ireland definitely has the chutzpah, if I can say that, to beat a team like South Africa. They've done it before. They've managed upsets in each of the 3 World Cups that they've played, and they're going into this match with a lot of belief. They're one of the undefeated teams, just behind South Africa in the pool standings because of a slightly lesser run rate, but actually they've played 1 match less than South Africa. So South Africa, on the other hand, is not going to take this team lightly. Their all-rounder Bahardin was actually speaking to the media earlier and said that they would have to come out hard and play as hard cricket as possible. Their strategies will be to give AB de Villiers as free a hand as possible. They're batting first, which is always a big plus we've seen so far in Australia. So they would want to keep some wickets in hand. They bat a little deep, keep AB de Villiers a little late in the order so that he can give them the impetus when he needs to. Very, very interesting, because Ireland also play very fearless cricket. So the team that holds on to its nerves perhaps is going to be the winner in this one.
Also, Shivani, you mentioned that obviously the fact that South Africa is batting first may be an advantage for them, but also Ireland have been known to chase really well. They've chased 300+ massive scores, so obviously South Africa will be looking to post a big total today because they cannot take Ireland lightly.
That's right. We've seen targets like 300 are often not safe. In fact, Sachin Tendulkar spoke about that match against Pakistan and India's target of 300. And he said it's not a 100% safe target anymore in one-day cricket, especially with the kind of batting lineups we have, with the kind of fielding restrictions we have, 2 new balls in each innings. So South Africa batting first against a bowling unit like Ireland should look at around 350. They have the batting lineup to do that. Anything less than that, and they're giving Ireland a bit of a chance in this match because, as I said, they bat fearlessly and they're going to come out hard and give South Africa a run for their money in this one. They want to be in contention for that berth in the quarterfinals, and they're going to look at this one too.
Shivani, thank you so much for joining us.